Is Jungkook's departure to America a form of escape? And why did Taehyung finally speak out about the sadness he has been hiding? The shocking statements made by both of them at nearly the same time have shaken the public and triggered emotional reactions from fans. Armies around the world are in tears, trying to understand what is really happening to the two figures who have always appeared so strong under the BTS banner. In an exclusive interview that was never previously announced by local media, Taehyung finally gave an open confession about his emotional state after completing his military service and the internal dynamics he felt had changed. With a heavy voice and an expression that couldn't hide his inner pain, Taehyung revealed that he didn't know where to return to after leaving the military. That sentence, though simple, illustrates a psychological pressure that may have been unknown to the public all this time. According to his statement, he received no welcome or guidance from management regarding his next career steps, even though he had previously been promised solo projects and plans to reunite with the BTS members. What he found instead was emptiness and uncertainty. He also stated that some things are not the same as before, which many interpreted as a sign that relationships between members or with the agency had drastically shifted. Simultaneously with Taehyung's emotional confession, news broke that Jungkook had officially moved temporarily to the United States and decided not to return anytime soon. This decision, it turns out, is not just about music, career, or global opportunities. Jungkook is said to have left to get away from a situation he described as too complicated to talk about right now. That phrase was recorded in a private message to a close acquaintance, which was later leaked to American entertainment media. Furthermore, according to reports from Variety and Billboard, Jungkook has cut off communication with several HYBE staff members and has requested that all BTS-related activities be put on hold until he feels ready to return. Some sources stated that this departure was not fully approved by management, indicating that this is not a routine business trip, but rather a quiet withdrawal or personal hiatus due to emotional stress. Meanwhile, industry analysts began to speak out. K-pop music observer Lee Sung-hyun, in a live stream on the K-Culture Deep Dive YouTube channel, stated, "What we're seeing now is not just an emotional crisis for two individuals, but a portrait of systematic pressure in the Korean entertainment industry that is overly focused on productivity without considering the artist's personal well-being." He added that idols of the fourth generation may be able to learn from this case, that even stars as big as Taehyung and Jungkook have human limits. Society can no longer demand that they perform perfectly without understanding the complexity of emotions and psychological burdens they carry. This situation also creates tension between the fandom and HYBE. Many fans are demanding clarification from the agency regarding the mental health of their artists, as well as full transparency about how BTS members are being treated after returning from military service. As of the time this article was written, HYBE has not released an official statement directly addressing Taehyung's or Jungkook's situation. The only statement provided said that the members' activities are being evaluated according to their personal and professional needs. However, that normative sentence was considered too flat by the public and instead reinforced the impression that management is hiding something. Some fans have even created online petitions demanding the formation of an independent team to monitor artist welfare policies under HYBE. This issue highlights the dark side of popularity and the pressure faced by global stars, especially for BTS, who have been performing nonstop for more than 10 years, going on tours, promoting, and facing expectations from hundreds of millions of fans worldwide. Even in his most recent live stream, Jungkook once said, "Sometimes I don't know what I really want because too many people expect me to be something they want." That statement now sounds like an alarm that was ignored. Now, with Taehyung openly admitting his sadness and Jungkook choosing to go far away from the environment that shaped him since his teens, the public can no longer pretend everything is fine. This is a critical time, not only for BTS, but for the entire ecosystem of the Korean entertainment industry, which must begin paying attention to mental health and emotional rights of its artists. The fact that two major BTS figures are now in an emotionally unstable condition should serve as a serious warning to everyone involved. This is not just a celebrity headline or a daily rumor. It's a reflection of a broken system too focused on image and performance, yet blind to the substance, that idols are human beings too. Behind their smiles on stage, there is exhaustion never seen, wounds never spoken, and tears that can only be felt in silence. Taehyung's touching confession and Jungkook's firm decision to leave are things that cannot be ignored. Is this the end of one chapter for BTS? Or the beginning of a new awareness that even stars have the right to feel sad, disappointed, and want to walk away? ARMY and the world can only hope that amid all this, the BTS members can once again find peace, wherever that is, with whoever that is, and in whatever form they choose. After reviewing various reports, social media posts, and unofficial statements that have circulated widely in recent days, it can be concluded that the news regarding Taehyung admitting sadness and Jungkook going to America due to internal conflict within BTS or HYBE cannot be factually proven. Much of the circulating narrative stems from speculation, free interpretation, and even manipulated or unverified data. In a journalistic context, this raises serious questions regarding the accuracy of the information and the ethics of distributing potentially misleading content to the public. First of all, as of the time this article was written, there's been no official statement from Kim Taehyung, BTS, Jeon Jungkook, or HYBE labels confirming that either of them is experiencing severe emotional pressure, has internal issues with management, or is in personal conflict with each other. All narratives about Taehyung's deep sadness and Jungkook's decision to leave Korea for certain reasons remain assumptive and based on interpretations of several personal posts that do not explain the actual context. Several entertainment media outlets have also been found to amplify quotes or interview snippets from long ago, presenting them as if they occurred recently. For example, Jungkook's quote saying, "Sometimes I don't know what I really want," is from his live stream on Weverse last year, which at the time was meant to discuss the creative process of his solo debut album, not in the context of internal conflict or emotional pressure. Similarly, Taehyung's statement about not knowing where to return to is often misinterpreted. In reality, that line was said in the context of personal reflection after military service and was not related to his relationship with HYBE or BTS. Secondly, the news that Jungkook has moved to America also cannot be concretely proven. The fact that Jungkook frequently travels abroad, especially to the United States, is not new. Since the pandemic era, Jungkook has often worked overseas for recording, collaborations, and studio sessions in cities like Los Angeles and New York. His presence in the US is more related to professional purposes and not a form of escape or personal decision stemming from internal conflict. As of now, there is no official statement or document stating that Jungkook has permanently relocated or decided to stay long-term abroad. It's also important to note that publications such as Variety, Billboard, and even Dispatch have never released articles or investigative reports that confirm the news of Jungkook severing ties with HYBE or deciding on an unofficial hiatus. All official reporting from credible media instead shows that Jungkook is currently in a post-solo adjustment phase and is preparing for the next phase of his career, including a potential reunion with BTS members after they complete their mandatory military service. Third, it must be clarified that HYBE management has never stated or indicated that Taehyung was neglected or excluded from BTS activity planning. Information circulating on social media about Taehyung not receiving any schedule after military service comes from unknown sources that have never been verified. In reality, HYBE has stated in an internal press conference that all BTS members will be given time to rest, reflect, and plan their careers individually after completing their military duty, without pressure or force to immediately return to entertainment. This approach is part of a new internal policy prioritizing artists' mental health and creative autonomy. Fourth, the emotional reactions from fans that have gone viral on social media, while real and undeniable, are largely driven by misinformation and unverified rumors that spread quickly. Hashtags like #TaehyungSad or #JungkookGone may be trending, but many of them are generated by fan accounts without direct access to factual information or verification from the artist's management. In the entertainment world, Such phenomena are very common, especially when news is left ambiguous, without clarification. However, that does not mean the information is automatically true and facing rumors and speculation. It's important to separate emotional narratives from factual realities. What fans feel is certainly valid. The fear of losing, sadness, even anger are forms of care. But if those emotions are continually triggered by false narratives, it can harm both the artists and their supporters. Too often, creating baseless assumptions will only muddy the relationship between artists, agencies, and fandom, and add further pressure to the artists who may simply be trying to live their personal lives in peace. Lastly, remember that BTS is a group with a long history and extraordinary track record, both in music and in their internal relationships. They've faced various challenges over the past decade and have maintained mutual respect for each other and for their fans. Therefore, before believing information that spreads widely, it is highly recommended to wait for official clarification and not rush to conclusions based only on emotional narratives currently going viral. Thus, we emphasize that the news about Taehyung being sad due to being neglected and Jungkook going to America because of internal conflict is not true and lacks strong factual evidence. Until there is direct confirmation from the relevant parties, all such information should be considered rumors and unverified speculation.